Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's dive into the story of a neighbor who thought they could just rehome someone else's dog, treating a beloved pet like a toy to be passed around. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like if you enjoy the content, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a juicy story. Cursed out my neighbor in front of her kids. I'm a 21-year-old female. Mickey is a 12-year-old Akita that I've had for all 12 years. For some context, I live in a residential neighborhood that was recently gated off. I walk Mickey every day. By the time I turned 9, he was too big for me to take on walks, so I trained him to walk in front of me on our walks. He only walks about 10 feet in front. Mickey has never been away from me for more than 24 hours. A bit ago, a family moved in a few houses down. There's the mom, M, dad, D, and twin children. D watched me walk Mickey and thought he was a stray. I explained how our walks usually go and thought that was that. It was not. 4 days ago, I came home and Mickey was not in my yard. I freaked out because he's always there. I went through our neighborhood, posting in every missing pet Facebook group I could find and posted in our neighborhood group chat saying he was missing. Fast forward to yesterday. By now, I'm going out of my mind. I finally decide to go door to door, and after a few houses, I'm at NN's place. M opens the door as D is coming in from the kitchen. I explain to M that Mickey is missing, and she offers sympathy. As I'm getting ready to leave, D joins in the conversation. He immediately says, "Baby, tell her about the dog you found." M goes on to tell me how she found a dog wandering around in my yard, opened the gate, and took him out. At this point, I'm not even registering the fact that she removed my dog from my property. I'm just excited because I think she might have him somewhere. Before I can ask, she explains how she gave him to one of her friends because she thought he was a stray. I explained that it was my dog, and she, somewhat reluctantly, gave me a name and address. I go over there and am met with a mother and 2 kids. I tell this mother, TM, that the dog she got is my dog and show her pictures of him. She doesn't argue or anything, and I load him into my car and drive home. This morning, I get a message. It's a screenshot of a mom group on FB, and M and TM are going back and forth saying things like, "How would she think taking a dog from a kid is okay?" And my personal favorite, "She's had enough time with him, she should let others have a turn." They had manipulated the story so it looked like I took their dog, and there were other moms criticizing. Pissed off, I went over to M and D's house and shouted at her. I'll admit I did say a few curse words, but it was generally just me saying things like, "You're acting as if he's a toy poodle, can take turns with, and he was on my property." I've been called an a-hole by M, again on Facebook, for cussing me out in front of my kids and causing emotional stress she's not fit to deal with. I kind of feel like an AH because I could have just let it pass without saying anything, and I might have actually let a few curse words slip in the vicinity of children, although I'm 95% sure that school-age kids are in face-to-face school in my area. Edit. Filed a report as of 10 minutes ago. We'll be walking Mickey on a leash as soon as it's deemed safe for him to be walked around the neighborhood again. We'll be stopping to pick up the cameras and a lock after my shift. M sounds insane. Who takes a dog from someone else's yard and gives it away? WTF. And acting like they're owed a turn? That's super weird. And our second story. But you agreed to that price. This one happened yesterday. Another tale from a tile store. The cast, me, MC, male customer, FC, female customer, MA, manager. It begins with a phone call. Me, "Hello, this is Tile Store. How can I help you?" MC, "I have a wall 2.5 by 1.8. I bought the tiles off you and my tiler's here, and he says you left me short by a rake of tiles." Me, "Okay, could I get your order number, please, and I'll search your docket?" MC, "It's 12345. Me, "Okay, I have your order up here. What did you say your measurements were?" MC, 2.5 by 1.8. Me, "Okay, well, going by those measurements, you should have been given about 4.5 meters of tiles, and you were given 5 meters, so you should have over what you need." MC, "I'm telling you, I'm short." Sure, I've hardly gotten one wall out of what you gave me, and I've got an entire bathroom to do. Me. You're tiling the whole bathroom? So what were the measurements you gave me? MC. Obviously, I'm tiling the whole bathroom. That's the size of the floor. Me. Okay, did you provide any other measurements, like the height of the wall? MC. No, I wasn't asked for the height. Me. Okay, well, it sounds like there was a miscommunication. The measurements you gave to me at the beginning of our call equate to a standard shower, 1.8, which would be 900 walls, and a standard height of only 2.5 meters. I'd say whoever you were dealing with just went by the measurements which you provided and gave you exactly what you asked for. We do have the excess that you would need in store, however, if you'd like to purchase them. MC. What, so you effed up and I have to pay? Me. Well, I apologize. The sales rep shouldn't have assumed you were tiling a shower, but those would be common measurements that we receive on a daily basis, and you never provided any other measurements besides 2.5 by 1.8. The rep would have had no way of knowing that you were tiling the entire bathroom. MC. Well, how much would the rest cost? Me. Well, because of the mix-up, we'll give you a discount on the remainder, so instead of adding up to about 600 euros, we can do it for 350, including all your materials. MC. This is effing ridiculous. I'm not paying that. You made an agreement with us. We were to get a whole bathroom out for whatever we originally paid. I need to speak to my wife. Hangs up. I immediately contacted my manager and explained the situation to him. He tells me that we absolutely can do no better than the price I've already offered, that according to the measurements provided, we gave them the correct tiles. He also says that anyone tiling a full bathroom would realize they didn't have enough when their sales rep brought them only 4 boxes of tiles. After I hang up, the phone rings again. Me. Hello, this is Tile Store. How can I help you? FC. You left us short and you want us to pay? Me. Hello, ma'am. Is this regarding order 12345? FC. How can you F up and tell us that we have to pay more? Me, explaining everything I explained to MC. FC. I want your head office's number. Me, certainly, it's 0812345678. Now, they aren't open over the weekend, but you can contact them on Monday. FC. Fine, I will be reporting you. Me. Okay, have a nice day, ma'am. After this phone call, I attempted to proceed with my day. The phone rings again. Me. Hello, this is Tile Store. How? FC. I'll give you 100 euro and no more for those tiles. Me. Ma'am, as I've already explained, I cannot do better than the price I offered you. FC. Then I'm contacting your head office. The call ends again. Less than 2 minutes later, I'm on the phone with a different customer. When the phone at the front desk rings, my coworker answers. I overhear him asking the customer to repeat his measurements and saying, okay, so that's about 5 meters you need. Followed by, you've been left short? Well, let me check your order. What's your order number? From here, he has nearly the exact same conversation that I've just had with both MC and FC, only this time they tell him that it was me who did the measurements working off of blueprints and that I was refusing to help them at all. They ask to speak to a manager and my coworker puts me back on the phone. After several minutes of back and forth, they inform me that they will be down to buy the tiles today, but they will be demanding a refund from head office. Okay. They arrive in, FC tells us she's here for her tiles, MC refuses to acknowledge either of us, and proceeds to fire the new boxes of tiles into his van in anger. We help him to avoid a phone call later about broken tiles. We finish up and tell him to have a nice day. He blanks us both, gets into his car, and they leave. It's an old hunter's tale that deer never look up. It's not an old retailer's tale that most people cannot, will not, think in 3 dimensions. And our last story. Who are you and why are you in our pool? This was back in the days when you could play with whichever other children you could find in your neighborhood until the streetlights came on, and then you'd run home before your mother started yelling for you to come in for dinner. I lived in one of the fairly nice homes in a newly built street where all the homes were more or less the same and all had a pool, including ours. A few streets away, the houses were much less new, but I would frequent the park in the center of them. I made friends with another girl, friend 1, who lived next to the park. Her house did not have a pool, so on hot days, she'd knock politely on our door and bring a snack for us to share, and we'd play in my pool for hours. There was another girl, EK, a bit younger than us, who would occasionally join us playing in the park. She lived another few streets away from the park, but friend 1 was familiar with her and her large family of brothers and sisters who were both much older and younger than her. Friend 1 was very kind and would let EK play with us, but would never let her follow us back to her house and discourage me from doing the same. Friend 1 told me that she and EK had been really good friends the previous year, but EK had stolen her favorite Barbie and had never given it back. A few weeks later, EK and I had become good friends despite friend 1's warning. On a very hot summer's day, I invited both friend 1 and EK over to enjoy the pool. Friend 1 showed up with her usual snacks and toys for us to share, but when EK showed up, she appeared at our side gate with not 1, but 5 members of her family. 2 of her younger siblings, maybe around 5 years old, and 2 older siblings, a teenager and another a few years older than us, all of whom ignored me and barged straight past me to dive into the pool and started playing around and making a mess. I remember I was a little stunned and went inside to let my mother know that we'd need more sausages on the barbecue for lunch for my friends. Of course, she wanted to know why. I could only tell her that EK had brought some friends. My mother was stunned and asked me if I'd invited them. When I said no, she stormed straight outside and told them that only EK was invited and that she was fine to stay, but that the others were rude to invite themselves and there's no way it was safe for the 2 5-year-olds to be unsupervised. I remember the teenager had a few words to say, but my stepfather stepped in and told them to go home. EK was dragged out by the teenager and left scowling daggers at me. A few days later, friend 1 told me a lot of the nasty things EK had been saying about me to her and the other children who lived in the area. I was so upset that I told my mother, who immediately took me over to EK's house to talk it out. EK's mother, EM, answered the door. I remember she invited us in, and I remember both mothers insisting we children apologize to each other for any mean words and that it was just a misunderstanding, etc., all better now. EK and I played awkwardly for a little while our mothers chatted and had tea, as mothers do. Less than a week later, my mother, stepfather, and I returned from being out for the day and heard whooping and yelling and loud music from our backyard. We walked in to find the back gate wide open and EK and her entire family, herself, her siblings, mother, aunts, uncles, at least 20 people, all fully clothed, messing around in our pool. There was food and rubbish and bottles absolutely everywhere. I remember my stepfather going red and immediately started yelling for them to get the hell off our property. I missed most of the argument. My mother sent me away, so I couldn't hear the language that was being used, but I remember EM screaming abuse and calling us names. The G-rated version would be rude white trash snobs. Later, my mother explained to me that according to EM, somewhere in their conversation about the misunderstanding, my mother had somehow given the impression that since EK was welcome in our home, therefore it must be open to their entire family. So they decided to celebrate an aunt's birthday in our backyard without asking us. We were terrible people for ruining the aunt's birthday party. Needless to say, my stepfather had to threaten to call the police before they'd leave. EK never spoke to me again, and her younger siblings would throw rocks and sticks, etc. at friend 1 and I if they saw us in the park. I hate it when you try to be kind and people misunderstand you. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.